The cosmic imprint, Saturn's relentless blueprint. There's a reason some Capricorns step into a space and the air changes before they speak. A reason their stillness says more than speeches, and their presence unsettles rivals and reassures the few who can keep up. Most never recognize what they're carrying. If you were born on certain sacred days within Capricorn, you weren't simply handed ambition, you were entrusted with something rarer, a consecrated force that isn't given lightly. It's considered dangerous, not because it detonates, but because it accumulates, stabilizes, and then rewrites the room without asking. We're about to decode the pattern hidden inside your birthday, the pattern even many Capricorns never discover. Because not every sea goat climbs the same path, some ascend the peak, others redraw the entire mountain. If your date is one of these, this isn't casual astrology. It's destiny translated into human language. Before we go further, tell me who you are. Share your date of birth and your zodiac sign in the comments. Let the map of your sky meet the map of your life and see whether your path resonates with what's coming next. Saturn rules Capricorn, but not the watered-down version people toss around. Saturn is the old smith at the cosmic forge, the keeper of oaths, the examiner who never promotes the unprepared. He withholds to refine, delays to define, restricts to reveal what cannot be broken. When you arrived under Capricorn, especially within particular days we all name soon, Saturn didn't hand you traits. He engraved a working design into your soul, a template with edges that fit only those who can hold weight without collapsing. His richest gifts are wrapped in silence, postponement, and solitude. He does not advertise your strength. He hides it and waits to see whether you will notice, train it, and claim it. That's why your story may have felt unfair, why you grew up faster than most, why the people you loved sometimes misread your hunger, and why you feel 10 steps ahead and 10 minutes late at the same time. What you carry is not common currency. It's what I call the Capricornian power that reconstructs. It doesn't topple for attention, it rebuilds for centuries. This is why some feel unsettled when you enter. Even admirers sense a mirror they've been avoiding. You remind the room of what persistence can make and excuses can't. Pressure doesn't fracture you, it tempers your core. When Saturn stamped your birth window, he didn't deliver comfort, he handed you command. Your stillness isn't confusion, it's calculation. Your absence isn't defeat, it's preparation. Your quiet isn't emptiness, it's architecture loading. And when you finally move, landscapes adjust. You were never meant to explain this. Language shrinks it anyway, but deep in your bones you know, I am built for what many wouldn't survive. If that line rings like a bell, it's because the bell was already inside you. If this is speaking to you, subscribe to Signs and Secrets, so you never miss the messages that clarify the work your soul already began. Staying close to the source helps you move with precision instead of doubt. Here is a life lesson early on. The most formidable force isn't chaotic or flashy. It is steady, nearly silent and inevitable, like a tide that doesn't announce itself but remakes the shore. That's the Saturn current running through you. It raises reconstructors, not merely rebels, builders who can stand amidst collapse and say, we begin again, but this time we build for generations. Your story is a timetable written in stone. When it's time, the door opens as if it was always meant for your hand. And if your relationship seemed to endure only when sacred, good. Sacred is the only frequency that can hold what you are. Part 2. The dates that carry the most potent frequency. Not all Capricorn energy expresses the same way. If you've ever thought the standard descriptions don't quite fit, you're not wrong. Your birthday doesn't just label your sign, it tunes the mission you're here to perform. Some dates hum with a voltage so disruptive, the world tries to keep it hidden, even from you, until you're strong enough to carry it well. If your soul chose these intervals, you weren't dropped on Earth to blend in. You were equipped to alter the scaffolding of reality. Listen for your window. December 22nd, December 28th, the silent strategists. These first days carry Saturn in its most distilled discipline. You don't move loudly, you observe deeply. Your gift is pattern sight, seeing the line behind the noise. You anticipate outcomes and touch the levers others ignore. People underestimate you because you don't rush. They mistake your patience for passivity, but when the moment arrives, you don't strike. You substitute fragility with structure, confusion with direction, scattered effort with aligned momentum. You play chess in a room arguing over checkers. December 29th, January 4th. The builders of quiet empires. You're wired to construct, spiritually, financially, energetically. You don't manifest by hoping, you produce by rhythm. Habits, rituals, non-negotiables, this is your cathedral. Your presence recalibrates the room. Systems bend toward coherence around you. Proof is unnecessary. Longevity is your rebuttal. You don't chase thrones, you craft them and sit down while critics are still talking. Each year you obtain more by outlasting what was never built to last. January 5th, January 12th, the Iron Architects. This segment feels forged. You've met resistance, betrayals, closures, pressure that tried to compress you into something smaller, and you turned it into design. You don't wait for storms to pass. You pour foundations mid-thunder. Loyalty to purpose lives in your marrow. Legacies grow from your daily discipline. Nothing is truly wasted, not even the ache. Pain became blueprint. Grit became geometry. You turn impossible into the schedule. January 13th, January 18th, the visionary disruptors. Your Capricorn roots lock into bedrock, but your gaze is forward. You smell ruin in a system before the cracks show. You don't worship efficiency for its own sake. You demand truth, function, humanity. Because you won't perform illusions, some call you severe. Those who can see call you necessary. You often arrive ahead of your era, building prototypes, while others debate if the future should exist. Time eventually circles back to where you started. January 19th, January 20th, the cusp revolutionaries. You stand at the seam where Capricorn design meets Aquarian innovation. That hybrid makes you unpredictable to complacency and magnetic to change. You can decommission dying structures and sketch their successors in the same breath. When you trust both halves of your nature, engineer and futurist, you become a pioneer in whatever field you choose. Resist this, and life feels like relentless pressure. Accept it, and everything locks into place. Find yourself in these stripes. Which current claims you? Are you cooperating with it or smothering it? Your date is not random data, it's assignment. Live in rhythm with it, and your choices stop looping. They begin lining up like stepping stones across a river that once looked impossible to cross. Midway reminder offered gently. If this is helping you name what you felt for years, tap like now, so the message reaches the others who need it. Energy shared, returns multiplied. Support Signs and Secrets. Become a channel member for exclusive videos and early access. Life lesson for part 2. Your birthday isn't a bureaucratic detail, it is your energetic signature. And some signatures are meant to authorize world-shaping work. Treat yours accordingly. The more precisely you honor its tone, the more precisely life answers. Part 3. The Invisible War. Why your energy disturbs the comfortable. You've noticed the subtle resistance. Family who once praised you now misread your quiet. Friends who admired your focus begin to shrink away. You're labeled distant, too intense, controlling, uninterested. The truth underneath, they aren't responding to defects, they're responding to gravity. Most people live inside borrowed expectations and recycled stories. You weren't built for that pattern. Especially if your birthday sings with the frequencies above, you weren't wired to melt into the wallpaper. You were made to bring order where chaos performs confidence, and that makes the room flinch. When a person like you walks in, the unmotivated feel their excuses wobble. The inauthentic feel their mask slip, the manipulative sense their strings relaxing, and those in denial feel truth stirring where they kept it asleep. You don't have to lecture. Your presence does the accounting. That's the invisible war, projection. People throw their inner disorder at you and call it your fault. They want your steadiness without the standards that produce it. But you weren't sent to manage anyone's resistance. You were sent to steward your assignment. Keep your footing. This pattern appears in love too. You are sincere, but not gullible, devoted, but not permissive. When your boundaries are mocked, you withdraw, not to punish, but to protect the architecture you're meant to build. Those who want babysitters resent that. Those who want partners rise to meet you. Some losses will ache. Let them go. You didn't lose a future. You made room for one. Not everyone is prepared to walk beside a builder of realities. Some will choose comfort, theatrics, or delay. Your mission requires allies, not anchors. A middle-of-the-journey nudge. If this content steadies you, take a breath. And like this video now. It signals the algorithm to deliver sturdier messages to you and to those searching for them. And if you're finding guidance here, subscribe to Signs and Secrets so these transmissions keep arriving exactly when you need them. Consistency is part of your craft, and consistent insight sharpens consistent action. Life lesson for part 3. Your energy isn't frightening because it's wrong. It's clarifying because it's true. Let the wrong ones be rattled. The right ones will recognize the rhythm and walk in step. Your task isn't to soften so others feel comfortable. It's to remain faithful so others remember what integrity sounds like. Part 4. Shadows, Legacies, and Claiming the Crown. The price few discuss is the way your strength was shaped. People admire Capricorn resolve but rarely ask how it formed. Yours didn't arrive as a gift box. It arrived as necessity. You learned under weight. Too much responsibility too soon, silence where tenderness should have been, expectations you didn't choose, rooms where you were needed more than you were nourished. You carried it anyway, even when your hands shook, even when no applause came, even when you were labeled cold, the moment you said, enough. That's the tuition of a soul tasked with structure. Here's the deeper truth. The heavier the calling, the more intense the initiation. Loneliness wasn't punishment, it was calibration. Saturn separated you from static so you could hear your name clearly. Betrayal wasn't cruelty for sport, it was discernment school, teaching you to stop pouring into people who only drank from your overflow and never learned to fill their own cup. Delays weren't cosmic neglect. They were perfect timing, training your hands to govern yourself before you ever governed territory. Every shadow was a test, every test a filter, every filter a step toward a legacy that holds. Because Capricorn legacies are not only careers, they're frameworks, methods, standards, ways of working that others can step into and rise. You weren't born just to succeed. You were born to codify excellence so it survives beyond you, to set stones others can step on without sinking. That's why your lessons cut to the bone, because your impact will reach the marrow of generations. Those who hurt you will one day realize they weren't arguing with a stubborn sign. They were resisting a disguised architect. Now for the question many whisper in the dark. Why does life still feel heavy when nothing is visibly wrong? Why does it feel like I'm always preparing but never arriving? Because the force inside you is not passive. It isn't content waiting indefinitely. It wants rightful use. Unclaimed power doesn't vanish. It compresses. Compression becomes pressure, anxiety, loops of delay, isolation that feels like exile. That stuck feeling is not life punishing you. It is your assignment asking for activation. You weren't built to simply survive the mountain. You were built to name it, map it, and own your path across it. You weren't made to chase approval. You were designed to establish systems that others can trust. Be direct with yourself. If you refuse the call, the current turns inward. Not to harm you, but to insist you move. claim it, and the pattern clicks. Suddenly, delays translators preparation, pain files itself as blueprint, solitude clarifies your priorities. The weight that bent your shoulders straightens into a crown. Your power isn't mimicking the crowd, it is building what they can imagine until you make it visible. You're not here to argue for your worth, you're here to demonstrate it through structure, integrity, and unwavering follow-through. Choose now. Not am I powerful, but will I finally become who I already am? The world doesn't need another loud figurehead. It needs the quiet maker who reconstructs reality with wisdom, order, and sacred intent. That one is you. Life lesson for part 4. Power ignored becomes pain. Power owned becomes purpose. Decide where yours will live. If this message struck the chord you felt vibrating for years, that isn't luck, it's recognition. A part of you already knew, it only needed naming. Share your date of birth and your zodiac sign in the comments so we can witness your frequency with you and declare in your own words the commitment you're making from today forward. Subscribe to Signs and Secrets to walk this path with guidance that matches your discipline. Precision deserves companionship. And before you go, if this helped you see your life with new clarity, please like the video so this guidance finds the people building in silence just like you. You are not ordinary. You came with a template. Use it well. Support Signs and Secrets. Become a channel member for exclusive videos and early access. Keep moving with that quiet certainty. At the end, remember to like this video, subscribe to Signs and Secrets, and leave your birth date and zodiac sign so we can anchor your intention in the open. If you want to hear everything the universe has to say to you, watch these other videos on our channel.